Tonight, battleground states remain. While the nation watches to see who the next president will be, there's major implications in our region.
Plus, a divided government. Several seats in Minnesota's legislature could tip this year, what it means for the makeup at the Capitol.
Plus, a big shakeup in Ely, how a mayoral candidate who dropped out of the race unseated the incumbent.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Baki.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Wisconsin played its usual presidential role, turning out another extremely close race.
This afternoon, we learned the Badger State went blue for Biden. The Democrat won by about 20,000 votes. That amounts to less than 1 percentage point.
This afternoon, President Trump's campaign team announced they will be requesting a ballot recount, citing irregularities in some Wisconsin counties. A candidate within 1% of the winner can request a recount. Under Wisconsin law, the recount will not happen until the Wisconsin Election Commission has official results. Wisconsin offers 10 electoral votes, which could prove crucial to either candidate. President Trump won the state by less than 1 percentage point in 2016.
CBS3's Emma Quinn has been following this story for us all day today. And Emma, this really is nothing new for the Badger State. There was a recount back in 2016 as well that ultimately upheld the president's slim victory. What can we expect from this potential recount?
So, Kristen, Tony, it's important to note that Wisconsin election officials have not released those final results. But here, like you mentioned, presidential races here in Wisconsin have always been pretty close. Here, 3 out of the 5 past presidential elections, including Trump's victory here in 2016, were all decided by less than 1 point. So what we're seeing here tonight, like you mentioned, isn't all that surprising. And according to the Wisconsin Election Commission, all absentee ballots and paper ballots have been counted, but they have not been released official results, and it could take several weeks before results are finalized due to the state's canvassing process. Canvassing is when cities double check those results, voter registration, and give those results to the county, who repeats the process. Those results are then brought to the state's election commission, and the canvassing process here in Wisconsin must be completed by December 1st, meaning we might not know official results until another month or so. Before the state was called for Biden during a press conference this morning, election officials did not directly comment on the president's claim of irregularities. They did, however, ensure all the ballots will be counted.
There's no opportunity to add additional votes to the tally, right? Because you have to make sure that everybody's registered to vote, that they have a lawful absentee request on file, or that they sign the poll book where they show their photo ID.
Wisconsin also has provisional ballots, meaning if you voted without an ID on Election Day, your vote won't be counted until you verify identification with your county clerk. You have until Friday to do that, and as of right now, it's unclear how many provisional ballots are out there. And aside from those provisional ballots, all absentee ballots and paper ballots have been counted. Again, we'll have to wait until December 1st, at least December 1st, to find out those final results.
Emma, do we have any idea on Wisconsin voter turnout this election?
So, Kristen, officials at the Election Commission say that under state law, they have 30 days to tally those numbers for voter turnout and same-day voter registration. So we'll have to wait again another couple weeks before we find out any of those numbers.
Something we'll continue to keep our eye on. Thanks, Emma.
And here's a look at how counties in our region voted in the presidential race. Douglas, Bayfield, and Ashland counties went blue, all 3 by more than 53%. The rest of them, including Sawyer, Washburn, and Iron counties, favored Trump.
Sawyer County, home to Hayward, has been one of the nation's top presidential election bellwethers until now. In the last 14 presidential elections, the candidate who wins Sawyer County ultimately wins the White House. But after Trump won the county last night by about 1,300 votes and the AP called Wisconsin for Biden this afternoon, it appears that streak has come to an end.
Tonight, we are getting more insight into the race for Minnesota's 8th congressional district and why the district has shifted from blue to red in recent years. Last night, Congressman Pete Stauber defeated Quinn Nystrom by 19 points. Stauber is the first Republican in 76 years to win the district in back-to-back elections. Stauber says he believes the voter shift is because he and the Republican Party support economic drivers like mining and manufacturing on the Iron Range.
We support the copper nickel mining. We support Enbridge Replacement Line 3. The entire party across the state does. And so you're looking at opportunities to really push our economic drivers, because a good job equals a good family.
Coming up later tonight, we hear from an Iron Range political analyst and his thoughts on why a red shift has taken over the 8th District.
As far as the other congressional races in Minnesota, Democrat Colin Peterson was ousted by Republican challenger Michelle Fischbach. That seat, which Peterson has held for 20 years, represents much of western Minnesota. Democrat Angie Craig is declaring victory in the 2nd District, which serves the southern suburbs. With all precincts reporting, she is leading her Republican challenger Tyler Kistner by 9,000 votes. The incumbents retained all the other seats in Minnesota. The 8 U.S. House seats the state has now have split representation, with each party holding 4 seats.
And Dave's here for our first look at the weather tonight. Dave, much like yesterday, a lot of sunshine, a lot of blue skies, and some very welcome warm temperatures for at least some of us who don't necessarily love the snow.
Yeah, that snow went away all right. Temperatures tied records in a couple of towns and broke new records here in a couple of places as well, including the airport in Duluth and International Falls. 74 was the top temp for the Falls, and it made it to 73 at the airport here in the Twin Ports. At least the Duluth airport. Over towards the Bong, they made 75. Haven't heard yet if that's a record or not, but it sure seems pretty warm. And temperatures were pretty warm around the region. They'll still be warmer than normal tomorrow, but that cold front you see just to the north of our area will take temperatures down just a little bit. Too dry out there for it to really create any precip, and it probably won't create too many clouds either. It'll just take our high temp down towards 58 degrees. So from 70 or so to 58, that's still warmer than normal, and it will stay warmer than normal perhaps through the weekend. But once we get into the weekend, we will start to eye up our next chance for precipitation. What form will it take? I'll let you know in a couple more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Ely wants change, and residents made that clear with an unexpected message last night. Current Mayor Chuck Novak was seeking his 4th term in his 2nd stint as mayor, but he lost to Eric Urbis by 124 votes. The twist? Urbis pulled out of the race 3 months ago. He missed the deadline to drop out by 2 months, so his name was still on the ballot. CBS3's Leanne Valdez asked Urbis if he'll take the seat and explained Ely's next steps.
Yeah, it was definitely surprising to hear that he won.
The city of Ely could soon have a new mayor.
I mean, I'm humbled by it.
That is, if he wants the job. Eric Urbis beat out incumbent mayor Chuck Novak by 124 votes. Urbis decided to run last spring, but pulled out of the race in August because of health issues.
The stress really started kind of piling on, and I think just the mental stress, and it really started taking its toll.
Ely City Clerk Harold Langowski says the deadline to pull out of the race for mayor was June 4th. Urbis missed it by about 2 months.
It was reported in local media the week of August 22nd that Mr. Urbis had withdrew from the race for mayor.
Urbis says even if voters knew he withdrew from the race, they still voted for him because he says they want change.
I'm just different than Chuck, that's all.
Urbis, who mainly leans right, says if he decides to take on the new role, he would bring a new outlook to politics, like introducing compromise.
There's just so many people that are in some type of politics, and they're just not willing to give or take on any issue. And I'm not saying that I would either, but I'm definitely willing to sit down and talk to somebody about it.
Urbis says he isn't sure if he'll take the seat or not. He has until January 1st to decide. He plans to spend some time thinking about it after an out-of-state work trip.
I think it's kind of hard for me to decide either way, yes or no, until I get back to Ely and have a little bit more of a sane judgment.
Now, if Urbis doesn't take the seat, the city would have to hold a special election. We did reach out to current Ely Mayor Chuck Novak, but have not heard back. He was one of several northern Minnesota mayors to endorse President Trump's re-election campaign.
It looks like Minnesota will continue on as the nation's only state with a divided government.
Republicans are likely to hang on to their slim majority in the state Senate. Democrats are expected to keep a lessened majority in the House. All 201 of Minnesota's legislative seats were on the ballot this year. Some of them are still too close to be called, and at least 3 House races are close enough to trigger automatic recounts if the trailing candidate requests it. Election officials still plan to count ballots that arrive by next Tuesday as long as they were postmarked by Election Day, which means some races might not be settled until then.
And while many of Minnesota's legislative races in our region stayed in current party control, we are tracking a possible major flip on the Iron Range. It's one of the few we mentioned that could be headed towards a recount.
District 6A seat covers the Hibbing and Chisholm areas in the state house. Republicans are expected to claim that longtime DFL-held seat by just 47 votes. Rob Farnsworth is leading by that slim margin with 100% of the precincts reporting. However, the race has not officially been called yet.
Farnsworth challenged incumbent Representative Julie Sandstead. She's held that 6A seat for 2 terms rather. 2 years ago, Sandstead beat her Republican opponent with more than 60% of the vote.
State law says an automatic recount for a state legislative race happens when the difference in votes is less than 0.5%, which it is in this case. Sandstead says the recount could start as early as tomorrow, adding she's navigating the process and is also looking for answers herself. Farnsworth turned us down for an interview until results are final.
Meanwhile, we were closely watching the State Senate District 5 race as well. That's where Democrat and Bemidji Mayor Rita Albrecht was challenging Republican incumbent Justin Eichhorn. Some had forecasted a pretty tight race there, but Eichhorn ended up running away with 55% of the vote.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, Minnesota's deer hunting opener is this weekend. Stay tuned to learn why experts are asking hunters to voluntarily get their deer tested.
And we'll talk about the Minnesota deer opener weather forecast coming up, of course, right after this break.
Live, local, CBS3 News at 6 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS3. CBS3 News is brought to you by Steel Power Tools.
This winter, beat the cold with an Up North hat. Michigan-made, these warm hats are expertly stitched with soft fabric, perfect for protecting you from whatever Mother Nature throws your way. Visit our website today at upnorthhats.com.
Move snow with your half-ton pickup like the pros with the rugged Western HTS. A full-sized, full-featured snowplow that gives you pro-like performance without extra weight. Handle standard duty commercial or extended use homeowner plowing with the Western HTS. Serious snow control. Designed exclusively for your half-ton pickup.
Get your snowplow from the experts at JM Auto Service. We are Western Snowplow headquarters.
Snow piles up quickly. Remove it just as quickly with Kubota equipment. Featuring front and rear mount snow blowers, blades, and rotary sweepers, it's everything you need to take on winter. Get select Kubota equipment for 0 down and 0% APR for up to 60 months. See your local Kubota dealer today.
No one serves you better than Bullet Implement.
Hey ladies, are you tired of being cooped up? How about a girls' getaway? Get outside and play. Come to Ashland, Wisconsin and enjoy our beautiful scenery, yummy food, and our quaint little town. Be a kid again. Grab the girlfriends and spend a few days in Ashland. There's all sorts of things to do for big ones and little ones. Have some fun in Ashland, where you'll find yourself next to the water. Visit ashland.com.
What do you get when you add care from Essentia Health and coverage from UCare? Essentia Care, now available for a more affordable price. Essentia Care's Medicare Advantage plans have premiums that start at $0 per month in select counties. You'll be able to see your Essentia Health provider at our 15 hospitals and 71 clinics. Plus, Essentia Care plans allow you the freedom to see any provider who accepts Medicare. Compare and shop plans at ucare.org/EssentiaCare.
Support our local Duluth restaurants and treat yourself. Get a $5 bonus gift card with every $25 gift card purchased. November 8th through the 15th. See our expanded list of wonderful local restaurants at downtownduluth.com.
It is the question that matters the most.
¿Dónde está?
That takes you behind the story.
Robert.
It drives everything we do. It is the foundation of trust.
Who did all of this?
And the truth that propels us forward.
What did you make of that?
It is the question. One word, 3 letters long. And without it, our purpose,
That's news.
and our freedom fade. This is why.
Season 2 is
The
here.
Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
CBS3 Weather is brought to you by Lulich Implement.
Now, the CBS3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
High temp today at Duluth International Airport, 73 degrees. Broke the old record of 69 degrees that came to us from as early as 1975 and was tied again in 2016. So the new king, the new queen will reign for at least another year before we get a chance to break it again. Tomorrow's chance of breaking a record, it's lesser than today's. We'll still be warmer than the normal of 42. But a cold front tonight could take our high temperatures down about 10 degrees. Still nothing to worry about too badly, I guess, unless you're a big snow fan. But then again, come Tuesday, we might have a chance for a little bit of that. I'll talk about how much coming up after we take a look at a tale of 2 weeks. Speaking of snow, 2 weeks ago, we had worse snow blowing. This comes from Julie Seidelman. So there's Dr. Tom, her husband, snow blowing 2 weeks ago, and there he is today by the same tree with the snow blower and shirt sleeves. So things certainly have changed. Of course, Dr. Tom took my wisdom teeth out about 25 years ago, and I haven't been the same since. Oh well, let's move on now to the current conditions at Duluth International Airport. 62 degrees is what we have for a temperature reading. 28% is the relative humidity, and a southwest wind is running 10 miles per hour. It's that southwesterly wind that's drying us up, clearing us up, and warming us up too. 29.84 inches of mercury. That is the barometric pressure, and it should stay high like that through Friday, but start to wobble and waver a little bit and start to go down perhaps as early as Saturday. We'll talk about that in a bit, but right now we take a look at Ironwood. We're at 62, 56 Ashland, just a little cooler towards Hayward, low 50s, still low 60s in Superior, mid 50s for Moose Lake, and North Shore numbers run from 40 to even 63 degrees, a wide range there. 57 on the Vermilion Range, 53 on the Mesabi, at least in the middle part of it. We have mid-60s towards the end there in Grand Rapids, and 61 is the current temp in International Falls. Low temps tonight, likely 30s. High temps tomorrow, close to 60 degrees, which again is still warmer than normal. Doppler map right now, the close-up view shows not too many clouds in the sky, but there are some clouds trying to wander in from the northwest. That's that cold front that's up to the North Var area. It's going to try to stir up some clouds, but won't be successful really tonight because, well, it's going to be tangling with the dry atmosphere. So we'll stay sunny and dry through Friday. It's into Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday when we start to get cloudier, and we get 30 to 50% chances for rain-snow mixes, which may stick to the tune of a trace to maybe 2 inches on Tuesday. Forecast here tonight in Minnesota, look for your low temps in the 30s with a partly cloudy sky. Same deal goes on for Wisconsin and Michigan. For tomorrow, mostly sunny sky once again with Wisconsin, Michigan highs 58 to 63. And with sunshine in Minnesota, we have 50s and lower 60s, so still warmer than normal. And it will stay warmer than normal probably through Sunday, but it will cloud up Saturday. We get a 30% chance of showers on Sunday, 50% chance for a mix on Monday, and then a 30% chance for that trace to 2 inches of snow come Tuesday. And Tony and Kristen, the temperatures, the warm spell goes away Tuesday and Wednesday. We fall into the lower 30s.
Thanks, Dave. Minnesota continues to see record-high COVID-19 cases across the state. Today, state health officials reported more than 3,800 new cases of coronavirus. 31 new deaths were also reported. The state's total case count sits at nearly 161,000. The total deaths is just over 2,500. Wisconsin also continues to see a surge in cases. Today, state health officials reported nearly 6,000 new cases and 54 new deaths. The state's total cases is at more than 244,000. More than 2,100 total deaths are being reported since the pandemic started.
Minnesota's deer hunting opener is on Saturday. As hunters stock up on gear, they should also be getting up to speed on this year's regulations to stop the spread of a deadly disease. DNR officials are worried about deer around the state testing positive for chronic wasting disease. They're looking to hunters to voluntarily get their deer tested. DNR officials say, unlike in years past, getting deer tested will be harder because of the pandemic. Instead of holding mandatory drop-off sites where hunters can bring their deer for testing, this year they're asking hunters to voluntarily drop them off at sites around the state.
If at all possible, please give us those samples. It really helps. We've been seeing pretty low compliance so far this year because it's voluntary, but we can't, check on the health of the deer herd without the help of hunters.
DNR officials say they are most concerned with areas to the south. So if you are hunting in the Northland, you do not have to test your deer. Coming up at 10, we hear from a local hunter to see what he is doing to prepare for this year's rifle season.
Coming up in sports, could the Packers Thursday night game be canceled? Kelly Hinseth has the details coming up next.
Northwest Outlet is your ARE truck topper headquarters.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Did you know that over 90% of today's top-rated television shows can be watched for free, including live sports, news, and the hottest sitcoms, all for free with TV Freeway Gold. Simply plug it into the back of your TV and start watching all of your favorite HD broadcast television shows free. TV Freeway Gold uses premium gold-plated connectors, giving you high-quality signal transfer so you can watch all your major channels, all in high definition, absolutely free, anywhere you want, even on your boat, so you can cut the cord and get TV the freeway with TV Freeway Gold for only $19.99 for free TV forever. But when you order now, you could get a second TV Freeway Gold for a second TV. Just pay a separate fee, and we'll ship them both to you free. But you have to order now.
Call 1-800-408-5417. That's 1-800-408-5417. Or visit tvfreewaygold.com. Order now.
Moving to mornings, obviously, with Jenna, I had worked weekends with her, and it was great. We're always there to be able to still joke around, still have that personality, but still obviously bring the news, the weather.
Caitlin has been there since day one when I first started at CBS3, and she's super knowledgeable about meteorology. She loves it, and she's so interested in teaching other people things about it as well. And I just think we're such a good pair for that reason.
Watch Jenna and Caitlin in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m. on CBS3.
Haberman here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and discoverwisconsin.com. Plus, subscribe to the Cabin Podcast, available wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day. From environmental issues to economics and so much more. Join me, Kristen Baki, every Tuesday for Eye on Mining, a fair and unbiased report that answers the tough questions surrounding the world of mining.
Eye on Mining with Kristen Baki. Tuesdays at 10 only on live local CBS3. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association.
When a crisis strikes, cash is the best form of relief. It can easily be transformed into health services, water, food, or clothes. Cash can travel everywhere and aid people all around the world. Donate. Smart. Fast. Donate cash.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
As of right now, the Packers are still scheduled to play tomorrow night on Thursday Night Football in San Francisco. Now, that's despite a potential COVID scare on both sides. Packers rookie running back A.J. Dillon tested positive on Monday. After more rounds of testing, he still remains the only positive test on the team, while some players who were in close contact with him are in quarantine. In addition, the 49ers recorded a positive test today as well and will now be working remotely. Head coach Matt LaFleur says they're moving forward like the game will be played until they're told otherwise.
Yeah, that's you got to have a plan for everything. So, it's something that we're constantly working through and trying to figure out how we can put our best guys out on the field and go attack. You know, it's just it's the situation that we're presented with, and we're going to make the best of it. It's, you know, it's not an excuse to go out there and play bad or anything like that. It is what it is, man.
And for what it's worth, the Packers team plane did leave for San Francisco earlier this afternoon. Sticking with news from the NFC North, the Detroit Lions have placed quarterback Matthew Stafford on the COVID-19 reserve list, which means the Vikings may not have to face him this Sunday. The signal caller did not practice today after being considered a high-risk close contact for being around a person who tested positive. Now, according to reports, the last contact Stafford had with the non-team member was on Monday. If this is correct, Stafford will be eligible to come off the COVID-19 reserve list this Sunday to take on Minnesota. Per NFL protocol, he must have 5 straight days of negative tests. And aside from all the pandemic-related uncertainty around the high school football season, it's been a drama-filled first 4 games for the Hermantown Hawks. After 2 one-sided games to start their season, the Hawks let a double-digit first-half lead slip away to Duluth East in Week 3, only to respond in Week 4 with a thrilling statement win over a previously unbeaten Cloquet team. For the seniors, it was a moment that they'll be able to hold on to from what has been a very weird season, to say the least. Head coach Mike Zagelmeyer says that win was exactly what the team needed.
I was happy for the seniors. They've overcome a lot of things this year as far as, you know, the whole situation with COVID and just the way the schedule's been, and are we going to play, are we not going to play? So, you know, I was talking to our coaching staff before the game, and we both said, you know, all of us said, you know, this group of student athletes, they really need something good to happen to them. And I think that goes for all kids in high school football right now. They just need to have good things happen to them right now.
Several seniors came up with big plays to hang on in the second half, including Mitchell Warmington and Daniel Walsh.
Oh, it's real nice. We'll be talking about that for probably all our lives, you know. That's a memory that'll be with us forever. I'm glad we bounced back and got it.
We've always been a pretty tight group, so I think that we just needed a spark to really ignite us there, and I think that's going to help us carry over to these next couple games here. We're just all coming together. It's like pieces of a puzzle. We just got to keep playing hard, and good things will come.
And up next, the Hawks will head to Hibbing this Friday night. You can catch the highlights with Neil Viersma in our Red Zone Live show. That's going to do it for sports. We'll have more here back tonight at 10. Kristen and Tony, for now, I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Kelly. Tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, we're talking to Representative Mary Murphy, who was reelected to her 23rd term. With another election day in the books, we'll be talking to her about how politics in the region has shifted over the years. We'll also discuss what it's like to see so many younger women taking office nowadays when she was one of only a few in the early days of her career.
23 years, 23 terms representing Hermantown area. Wow, that's incredible. Dave, we going to get some more sun in the forecast?
We will be represented by sunshine for 2 more days before that term ends. And then clouds start to take over for the week. And so here's our 7-day forecast. During the next few days here, Thursday through Sunday, it'll still be warmer than normal, highs near 60. The normal is 42. It's once we get into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, temperatures will start to tumble. By next Tuesday, only 32 degrees, and that's cooler than normal.
All right, thanks for joining us.
We'll see you again at 10 o'clock.